Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Mount Tammany Ridge channel. So I'm back up here at Mike's house again, and as you can see, this other feature here up on the hillside still has some fabric. We gotta slice all that fabric off the edges, tune that up a little bit, make it look a little bit more well, proper. And we're gonna do a little bit of raking here and there, and Mike's gonna be home shortly. And he's got some boulders over here that he wants me to move around while I have the excavator here for kind of in-between stages of the project right now. But he's going to have me do some odds. Far down here in the front yard, this was the first feature we worked on, and that one down there is the second feature. And I don't know if those of you have been following this project from the beginning. There was a very low swale in here. So the yard kind of came down, and then it had a very aggressive swale that dropped in and then came back up to the road. Swales kind of have their place, right? So the thing that wasn't good about this swale was the fact that it went from the driveway up here, because there's a horseshoe driveway that goes all the way up and around, right? So from the driveway here, that swale went up to the driveway, and it was just like a big long, it was like a gravy boat basically in the ground here, and it just captured all the water. It didn't send it anywhere. There was no culvert here, any sort of a drain to get this moisture to go anywhere. Now down here was the same thing, right? It was just a big gravy boat. Further down this end, there is a drain here in the street, and there was an old gutter drain here that had been terminated a long time ago. We filled that in. That used to drain out to here, but all of this was the same thing. It was like a big long trough, and it would just collect water and it would stay soft. So every time Mike came down here with his mower, he'd, be on the verge of getting stuck. So that was no good. But at this point, we're pretty much completed. I've got all this graded out. Now it's just a nice, smooth slope coming all the way out to the street. It'll drain properly. It won't hold water anymore. And that's pretty much all that's going to be done, at least to Mike's yard, from what I understand. Things change. We'll have to see, what the future weeks bring before the real deep freeze. But as far as Mike's yard right now, that seems to be where we're going to leave it till spring. So up here, where I pretty much started the project, all around here was just a mess. There was big lumps of dirt and tracks from the machinery that he had used to rent a long time ago, and basically just kept running out of time on the rental, kept running out of time in a day. So naturally that all adds up, and then before you know it, the poor fellow was stuck with a bunch of weeds growing through a bunch of clumps and lumps in his yard. And as you can imagine, trying to mow your grass and keep the Mother Nature back there at bay of taking over your yard it was complicated and frustrating. Over here, I actually had all this cleared out. Those weeds, they grow back so quick, but all of this, along the foundation just under that window, was actually diving in toward the foundation. And I brought it up properly. I shaved this down. I took this material in the high spot and I brought it up to the foundation. I was able to get it to drain away from the house, especially considering right now the gutter is just kind of terminating out to here for now until it's so frustrating, because we're going to be tearing into some of this to put more gutter drains in and all that, but it's just what happens in stages. Along here at some point, he's going to have me dig down with the excavator along the foundation, and he's going to re-waterproof that at some point. Could be a year from now for all I know. It really all depends on how it fits both in his schedule and mine. Up here in the front, I did the same thing. A lot of this was, it was banked up very, very high in the front here. I think that was an attempt to keep the water draining away from the house earlier years, even before Mike maybe even had the house. So I've got all this draining away from the house. I've also got the dirt, the grade is actually now at the grade it's supposed to be. It's going to be lower than the waterproofing on the foundation. So this side I've dropped down to accept some topsoil or whatever it is he chooses to do here. And then also this side needs to be graded. That'll probably be next spring. And we will be bringing new gutter leader pipes draining underground. At some point, I'm sure he's going to redo the whole driveway. So a lot of work going on here, and it's all in stages. I guess I'll just get the machine warmed up and maybe do a little tuning up with the rake here and there. He's got a special razor knife thing with a long handle that's pretty convenient for cutting that fabric instead of crawling around on my hands and knees, but I'll just have to wait for him to get back. It's not in his typical hiding spot. So, but other than that, I'm gonna stop yammering and I'm gonna get to doing some stuff. right, everybody, here we are. So we've got the mulch pile consolidated. Where am I? I'm so tired. Oh, that's not the pile I want you looking at. Up there by them rocks, we got that all taken care of with the weed fabric. Pile's done. Back here, we had a whole bunch of big rocks, as you can see right there. They're over behind the excavator now. They're going to be staged there for the winter. So everything's coming around. It's all coming around. We might be doing some digging over there in the next couple weeks or so. We will have to see how that all lays out and comes together. Getting the mafia blocks here is part of the battle, and a way to move the mafia blocks is the other part of the battle. So that's a 50-50 issue there. Hopefully that thing will be getting picked up soon. And if you're wondering what that cone is, that's well casing. I want to make sure we can see that moving around. So that's going to be it for this video. And you guys, thanks for hanging out with me here in the Mount Tammany Ridge channel, hanging out with me for a while I'm doing what I do, try to keep things going around here as far as paying the man. So you guys have yourselves a good evening. If you could, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and we'll see what the future holds for other content.